In the headlines, National Security Advisor warns against political violence ahead of 2023 elections. Court reserves judgment on Machina's recognition as APC candidate. Chief of Army Staff launches Operation Mugumbugu to tame banditry in Niger. And on the foreign scene, 17 inmates on the run after Comoros Island jailbreak. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Hello and welcome once again. Now, with just 105 days to the 2023 general elections, the National Security Advisor to the President, Babagana Munguno, had advised those with the intention to disrupt the peaceful conduct of the election to desist from doing so or face the wrath of the law. The National Security Advisor, who gave the warning to political parties during an emergency meeting of the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security with INEC, said security agencies will not sit idle and allow anyone to disrupt the election. Noel Sampson tells us more.
The emergency security meeting became necessary after INEC's offices in Ogun and Osun State were attacked by thugs. According to reports, some unidentified persons overpowered the security personnel on duty and set both office buildings ablaze.
While the attack and consequential damage in Ede South was minimal, that of Abeokuta South was extensive. Materials destroyed include 904 ballot boxes, 29 voting cubicles, 8 electric power generators, 57 election bags, 30 megaphones, 65,699 uncollected PVCs, and a host of other assorted items such as stamps and stamp pads.
National Security Advisor to the President, Babagana Munguno, however, reassured the public that the security agencies are going to do everything within their power to ensure that Nigerians have peaceful elections come 2023. The Security Advisor warned those who may want to use the means that are unorthodox to stabilize an already delicate situation to think, as the law will not allow such person to go unpunished.
I want to assure you that the security agencies have been given clear-cut instructions to preempt and deal with any situation in which any rogue organization or institution decides to embark on what we consider to be a fundamentally criminal enterprise or undertaking. You lose your marbles or you allow your cheese to slide off the cracker, you will be brought to book.
On his part, the Inspector General of Police said the police are ready to exhibit the highest level of professionalism and perseverance within the confines of the law to ensure law and order before, during, and after 2023 polls.
We have witnessed sabotage to the general election by destroying and attacking INEC offices, personnel, and so forth. It is our determination to ensure that these things are put to rest very quickly to enable us to forge ahead and conduct these general elections.
Despite the attacks on INEC's facilities, the Commission said it is committed to delivering smooth elections, urging all and sundry to play their parts in ensuring the end goal is achieved. Noel Sampson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And ahead of the 2023 general elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission has called on political parties to shun politics of bitterness and engage in peaceful campaigns to avoid acts capable of undermining the process during and after the election. The Kwara State Resident Electoral Commissioner described the signing of the electoral law as the best thing that happened to the country, as it will eliminate rigging and will not allow anyone to foster with the integrity of the election. The report. Meanwhile, the Court of Appeal in Abuja has reserved judgment in an appeal by the All Progressive Congress, APC, challenging the decision of the Federal High Court which affirmed Bashir Sharif Machina as APC senatorial candidate for Yobe North. Three-member panel headed by the President of the Court of Appeal, Justice Monica Dongbang Mensam, said this submission after all parties in the suit argued and adopted their processes. The APC had approached the appellate court seeking to set aside the judgment of Justice Fadima Aminu, insisting that Ahmad Lawan is the authentic senatorial candidate for Yobe North. Counsel to Ahmad Lawan, Shaib Arwa, said the Yobe senatorial primary of May 28, where Machina emerged as candidate, was conducted by the Yobe chapter of the APC and not by the National Working Committee of the party. He argued further that the other primary held on June 9th was conducted by the APC National Working Committee and as such has the blessings of the party. Counsel to Machina Ibrahim Bawas had earlier told the court that the appellant's brief is the same as the original brief with nothing different. The appellate court subsequently adjourned the matter till a date that will be communicated to all parties involved in the suit. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, has unveiled a military exercise code-named Operation Mugumbugu in Niger State as part of efforts to tame the tide of insurgency and banditry and other criminalities in the north central and other parts of the country. The operation was launched after 2 weeks of training and drilling of troops from various army formations at the Nigerian Army Training Center, Kwantagora in Niger State. Unveiling the operation on Friday, the Chief of Army Staff said the exercise is aimed at curbing the insecurity and banditry in Niger State and other parts of the country, noting that the security challenges facing the country are not unsurmountable. He said the Army had learned from operations in the northeast, the northwest and north central, and it is combining the conventional and unconventional tactics to confront the dynamics of adversaries. Earlier, the commander of the Army Training and Doctrine Command, Mina Major General S.O. Olabanji, said the troops were equipped with requisite skills and knowledge in conventional and non-conventional tactics and to meet the expectations in the fight against insecurity. The operation will be jointly undertaken with the air component to achieve results. Of security, the new Commissioner of Police deployed to Katsina, Shehu Nadada, vowed to deal with terrorists ravaging some parts of the state. He said the police is committed to ensuring security of lives and property and promised to take the fight against terrorists to their hideout. Abdullahi Yamadi completes the story.
While advising the terrorists to lay down their arms and take legitimate trades, CP Nadada promised to fight against all bandits and their collaborators wherever they are in Katsina State. CP Nadada charged men and officers of the command to brace up for the task ahead and urged the good people of Katsina State to support the command to succeed in dwarfing insecurity in the state.
The Katsina State has an area of about 24,192 square kilometers, which is large. And you have to collaborate and cooperate with all these critical, particularly vigilantes, traditional rulers, to ensure adequate coverage of those communities. The seventh one is to cooperate and collaborate with other sister security agencies. In our effort to make the entire state safe for all law-abiding citizens.
While appreciating the synergy between the police and other security agencies, the Katsina Police Command is given assurances that it will be improved upon and consolidated. He, however, said the fight against terrorists and their collaborators could only succeed if traditional rulers, opinion leaders, and the media joined hands with the security operatives at all levels.
On all members of the public to assist us with information so that all these challenges we have will be tackled front-end. Any information given to us will be treated with utmost confidentiality. But the problem we have at times is when you give information, sometimes it will leak. I'm assuring members of the public, whatever information is given to us is going to be treated with utmost confidentiality.
These assurances by the new CP is believed that it will restore the hope lost by the people living in the insecurity-prone communities who have been battling banditry for 7 years. It could be recalled that many farming communities have abandoned their farm produce for the fear of attacks, killings, abductions, and rustling of animals which have been eating the growth and development of Katsina State. Abdullahi Ismail Ahmadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Senate President Ahmed Lawan has asserted that Nigeria needs a knowledge-based economy to achieve its desired goals as a nation. Lawan stated this when he declared open a public hearing on a bill to back up the establishment of the National Institute for Educational Planning and Administration, Ondo State. The report.
In collaboration with UNESCO and International Institute for Education Planning, the institute is to serve as a staff college for planners and managers in the Nigerian education sector, as well as the West African sub-region. Assessing the education sector, Senate President Ahmed Lawan says Nigeria is not ready for a 21st century economy, given the current structure of the education system. He expressed the hope that the outcome of the public hearing will provide the Senate with an opportunity to make the right decisions.
If you want to attract foreign direct investments, in fact, any investment at all, labor is a critical factor of production. This is elementary economics. So what type of labor are we providing? We have to provide the kind of labor that when you set up your industry or your businesses that are supposed to be first class, first 21st century kind of concerns, you don't have to go and bring people from outside the country.
In his welcome address, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Basic and Secondary Education, Ibrahim Gendam, said the National Institute for Education Planning and Administration Establishment Bill 2022 seeks to give legal backing to already functioning institutions.
Having heard of all your submissions and presentations, I think the ball is now in our court to play it well in a form of going through your presentations and submissions so that we make necessary recommendation to the Senate.
The sponsor of the bill, Ayo Akinyerure, said it is sad that despite the institution's enormous potentials and its long years of existence and operations, it does not have an enabling law to regulate its activities in line with its core mandates.
It is worthy to note that the Institute, NEPA, Ondo, is the only capacity-building outfit for educational sector planners and managers in Nigeria and West Africa sub-region, and the only parastatal federal ministry of education in the entire southwest Nigeria. Sadly, despite the institute's enormous potentials and its long years of existence and operation, it does not have an enabling law to regulate its activities to strengthen and entrench its core mandates.
Stay with us on Trust TV News Update. Still ahead. We'll tell you why Sokoto residents do not like goat meat. Details of this and more after the break. Stay with us.
documenting the Nigerian story.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. Now let's recap our top stories. National Security Advisor warns against political violence ahead of 2023 elections. And court reserves judgment on Marchina's recognition as APC candidate. Now moving on to other news. The Nigeria Immigration Service has warned Nigerians to be wary of what it termed as dire consequences of smuggling of migrants, which the agency says could lead to severe abuse and exploitation. The controller of the Oyo State Command of the Immigration Service, Isa Dan Suleiman, who gave the warning in Oyo, decried the dangers inherent in irregular migration, while also lamenting the massive exodus of the nation's brightest minds out of the country in search of greener pastures. The immigration boss described the smuggling of migrants as a clandestine crime and advised youth across the country to join hands in the nation-building process, while also stressing that Nigeria had the capacity to be a prosperous nation.
Sensitize people on SOM, as sponsored by our development partner, the NUGC, against SOM, what we call smuggling of migrants. So it is very important, in collaboration with others, with agencies and the public. So let people know the other aspects and the menace of smuggling of migrants. So that the hard time people know that it is becoming too much of people living outside the country without even know where they are going. And at the end, the result is negative. That we want to stop. Nigerians should be very careful, to be wary of lofty promises. I want to advise people to stay back and let us salvage the nation together. It will be better for us. That's my advice to Nigerians.
We should do everything that we can do to increase perception among the people, so that people will understand what human trafficking entails, and of course smuggling of migrants. Not many people understands what the difference between these two, and of course the difference between smuggling of migrants, human trafficking, as well as immigration itself. So why it is okay for anyone to migrate to wherever they feel it's okay for them, but the irregularity is there, the evil there, the means, and that is what we need to pay attention to. And so when people gain knowledge then they will become aware of how to protect themselves against the evil. But one thing we can be sure of is that human trafficking tends to continue to be on the increase. It is highly prevalent now, and the evil is that of exploitation. The extent of the exploitation, no one can decide it even from the beginning. Sometimes it even affects humans' life. And so that is why we need to do all that we can by letting people know going to the public places, sensitizing the people, building capacity of everyone on the steps they need to take to prevent, and in the case of events of human trafficking, how to make reports appropriately and to take steps to address it.
Now, Sokoto is one of the few states in northern Nigeria that is endowed in animal production. It is estimated that the state has a total population of 2.9 million goats, 3.4 million cattle, 1.9 million sheep, and 40,000 donkeys. However, despite this endowment, majority of the people in the state do not eat goat meat. In this report, correspondent Yusho Adamu finds out why people of Sokoto do not eat goat meat.
Despite their affection for domestic animals' meat and the immense contribution to its production, majority of the people of Sokoto do not eat goat meat. Neither at suya joints nor at restaurants or hotels can someone get cooked or roasted goat meat to buy within the state capital.
Some people believe that this stems from the leader of the Jihad, Sheikh Usman Nafodio, that it was said that at the beginning of the Jihad, he made a promise that if God helps him and succeed in execution of the Jihad, he will at the end abandon or leave one of the things he loved. And it is said that he loved goat meat very well. And for that, he decided to leave the consumption of goat meat.
It is also unusual for an average Sokoto man to slaughter goat during festivities such as Salah, naming, and wedding ceremonies. Courtesy of this tradition, majority of goats produced in Sokoto are being taken to southwest and the neighboring states of Kano, Katsina, and Kaduna for consumption. Goat meat is good, which Islam allows us to eat, and it has nutritious value to our health more than ram meat. But the people of Sokoto believe that if they eat it, they will get rashes. Consequently, the few goats that are being locally processed in the state capital are largely consumed by other tribes. However, the impact of the long-standing tradition is more pronounced in the urban areas than in the rural.
Some people are allergic to goat meat. You understand? When they eat goat meat, they'll become allergic. That is what we call, the rashes will come out from their body.
However, if the government can find a lasting solution to the allergic problem associated with goat meat, this notion can be changed. From Sokoto, Yusho Adamu, Trust TV News.
And after prison officials claimed they had caught several fugitives, authorities are still searching for 17 inmates who escaped during a jailbreak in Comoros. According to the director of the prison administration in Moroni, the capital of the Indian Ocean island, 23 inmates escaped during the jailbreak on Wednesday night, although 6 were swiftly located. Prison officials claimed that the convicts used a transfer from the yard to their dorms to accomplish their departure without providing any other information. The exact reasons for their escape are still unknown. However, Public Prosecutor Ali Mohammed Junaid claimed that there was no outside influence when the convicts escaped. Since gaining independence from France in 1975, the Comoros Islands of Anjouan, Grande Comore and Moheli have experienced decades of oppressive poverty and political unrest, including around 20 coups. And the president of Somalia, Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, has declared that his country will employ all available measures to combat Al-Shabaab, including military, economic and intellectual methods, in close coordination with the general populace. The Somali government had imposed a media ban on all Al-Shabaab in the middle of October. Following most recent crackdown on violent extremism, Somalia's government has declared that it has shut down hundreds of media websites it claimed were spreading Al-Shabaab themes. The change came after the Somali government had already ordered communication providers to block Al-Shabaab-friendly websites in October. The Ministry of Information reports that 40 social media accounts, 1 television station and 10 news websites have all been banned for supporting or being utilized by Al-Shabaab. And in sports, President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated Team Nigeria on their spectacular performance in winning the silver medal at the Africa Continental Archery Championship held in Pretoria, South Africa. Rotimi Williams, Olatayo Olashende and Damilola Sholademi, who represented Nigeria in the men's and 50-meter compound bow, won silver, coming second behind South Africa. In the mixed category, comprising both genders, Williams, Sholademi and Kacholom Enyenihi also won the silver. The president, in a statement by his media aide, Malam Garba Shehu, commended the athletes for demonstrating the Nigerian value of bravery, passion and commitment in the maiden participation of the country in the African Archery Championship. And that wraps up Trans TV News Update for this hour. For more news, you can subscribe and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for watching.